Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is going to be my last video on the whole Prophet Key something because we need to move on to something very important. But the only reason why I have to make this video is because I've realized most of you are missing the concept on why Prophet Key is being put to jail. And we have a lot of influencers online now, but most of them, they don't critically think. They don't read. They don't understand things. They don't properly digest things. That's why they come here and just round. They just talk. They just spew out stuff that they have no idea what they're talking about. So our job is to, like I said, our job is to keep opening the people's eyes and keep explaining things. For those of you who believe that Prophet Key was wrongfully placed in jail, only because somebody at Yeke Koluba repeated the same thing, said, oh, he was wrongfully put in jail. I'll open your eyes. Not only would I explain to you, but I'll also play a video that you will watch and see someone who understands the law. In fact, someone who is a partaker in law making in Liberia. I'll play the video too, and you will learn from it today. And I think that should put this whole thing to rest. Now, first thing first, for those of you who believe that, that not only Prophet Key was cursing, a lot of other people now curse, and this and that, who will say that kind of thing? Why should Prophet Key be penalized? Listen, or why now? Prophet Key curse the other government, Prophet Key. Let's take it step by step. Let me take you on a journey of knowledge and wisdom. Pay attention. Don't be fast to comment. Watch the entire video. When you understand, then before you make a comment. Some of you can just listen to 2 sentences, but don't you go comment. But pay attention to the one. Be patient. Let me explain to you. Now, first thing first is this. You got to remember when Prophet Key was cussing during the previous government. The whole 6 years that he was cussing, he was never in Liberia. He was situated in Morocco, cussing from Morocco. I can assure you, if Prophet Key were in Liberia when you were cussing George Weah and the rest of everybody else's man, where we all got to know him from, if he ever had the balls to come to Liberia, what you are going to face are going to be way deeper, way harder than what he's facing now. He probably wouldn't have been alive. If we'll be honest, he probably wouldn't have been alive right now. I'm telling you, not George Weah are going to kill you. Not George Weah are going to kill him, but some of the loyal fans of George Weah that I know who can put their life on the line for George Weah, Prophet Key would have been erased, and he knows it. He knows it. So you are in Morocco. Let's get that clear. So he sat there 6 years and abused. Now, what I thought we all were going to be talking about is when he returned to Liberia after United Party took over. When Prophet Key came to Liberia, when Judy Andy filed a lawsuit against him, I thought they would have used that to actually nail him. I thought they would have used that as a perfect opportunity to go for him and silence him. But of course, United Party were happy, knowing the fact that Prophet Key was talking on their behalf and causing CDC. United Party were happy to embrace him, so they protected him in the name of freedom of speech, freedom of expression. They let him go. They let Prophet Key go. So that part, I know you're understanding now. That part is clear. He was not in Liberia the whole time. Now let's move to another part. All right, the next part is this. The Supreme Court is the highest body, the highest institution, the highest court in our land, where verdicts and decisions are made against anybody who is going against or for the law. Now, the Supreme Court should be respected by every man, regardless your status, regardless your name, regardless who the hell you are. The Supreme Court should be respected. Now imagine if all of us are comfortable disrespecting the Supreme Court, talking about the Chief Justice, disrespecting all of those people in the judiciary. If all of us are comfortable, do you think we have a country, or we would have a country by now? We can disrespect ourselves, we can curse ourselves, we can do it. But imagine someone being comfortable disrespecting the Supreme Court that is supposed to be respected. The Supreme Court that decides your fate. The Supreme Court. And disrespecting the Chief Justice. Where is that done in the world? Let's be honest, Liberians. Where is that doing the work? You don't think Prophet Key buy more than he can chew? You don't think so? So who is there to be respected if we cannot respect the Supreme Court? Or if we cannot respect the Chief Justice, who is there to be respected? And someone say, oh, he costs whole president and this. Do you know who the Chief Justice is? Do you know the function or the functionality of the Supreme Court? You're just talking tap, 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 tap. I know some of you not get little fame from the online blabbing and all that. But you go read small now. You try to improve your knowledge small instead of just coming here to talk. I see a lot of you, especially influencers. I have seen more than 10 videos doing the influencers. I know I let Prophet Key. I know the thing Prophet Key answer. I support the thing he does. But I have to say that what it did to Prophet Key is wrong. How is it wrong? Y'all make sense now. Y'all make sense. Should there be anyone at all who would disrespect our Supreme Court or our Chief Justice? Then where do we go when things happen? Who should we respect? Where? You're making make sense. But of course, that's the problem we have. Coming from our country, most people are not literate. Most people are not even willing to improve themselves, privately. Read, understand. You're not willing to do it. You cruising. You just want talking everything. Even though you don't make sense, but you won't talk. So you stop ranting and talking. Prophet Key bites more than he can chew. He put his mouth where his money is not. They say put your mouth where your money is. You can't fight everyone. You got to be selective. Pick your fight. But of course, some of you don't understand. I see. It's such a pity knowing that some of you are so empty-headed. You don't know what you're doing. But you come along, of course, our people are bored. They ain't got job. They ain't got this. They decide to follow you. So you see yourself with a couple of followers. You just talk. Everything you just talking. Playing blind loyalty so that when Prophet Key come out of jail, he see all this, he'll say, yeah, the person stood up for me. What is that, man, people? What is that? Well, it's okay to play blind loyalty. It's okay to be dumb forever. But what is not okay is to deceive our people. So I came here to clear your eye. Prophet Key bite more than he can chew, so he deserves to go and rest small in jail. Absolutely zero problem with that. Nothing. And just because Yeke came here and say, what you don't understand is, Yeke is a politician. Yeke is against this government. So right now, everything that will make the government look bad, he would say it. I'm not for any government. You know me already. I've picked my side. My side is Liberia. You can see me, I can't here. When CDC do something wrong, I will say. Anybody does something wrong, I will say. I'm not for any one of them. But the truth is, Yeke not telling you directly. Yeke knows what I'm saying more than even I do. But his problem is, he chose to make the government look bad, so you talk around the surface. The Chief Justice taking matter here. But there's even laws that prohibits the Prophet Key man from insulting our Chief Justice. There's even law that prohibits him from desecrating the land by even disrespecting the Supreme Court. And I'll play for you. Let's watch Honorable, let me say Councillor Tewon Gonglo as he properly breaks it down for all of us. Watch this video, my people. Let's go.
For a few days after the Supreme Court cited Prophet Key for contempt, I got a lot of calls from Liberians in Liberia and abroad. And it was simple. Simply because I represented a lot of media institutions and I announced before publicly that I would dedicate my professional life to the defense of the press. I am the same person who drafted the original draft of the law that is today called the Kamara law that repealed all the anti-speech laws. But I did not include a law that punishes abusive language, disorderly conduct, 17.3 of the penal law. I live by the law. The law is the law. I told the people who called me that Prophet Key had crossed the line. His speech was criminal because abusive language under our law is a crime. And the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. I don't even think a magistrate court should tolerate any abusive language for any citizen of Liberia or any resident. And since the Supreme Court came down with its opinion today, I've had several calls from people. What do you think about the Supreme Court opinion? I applaud the Supreme Court opinion. The Supreme Court did extremely well to defend the sacredness of the court. We can do everything in this court, in this country, but the court must remain supreme. It's a sacred place. You cannot go on insulting the Chief Justice, the justices, or their parents, and all of that. This is so wrong. And morally, it teaches wrong lesson. We want our society to be a decent society. I defend free speech. I will defend free speech from life, but not abusive language.
Okay, now we can finally lay everything to rest now. We can finally lay everything to rest because it's clear and direct. So Prophet Key bites more than he can chew, or he bit more than he could chew. So that's why he's in jail. Period. My name is Will Debo. I'm the voice of the voiceless. I'm only here to clear your eyes and open the eyes of the youths so that they will not normalize insulting people. I'm your humble servant, and I am that guy. Nizuo. Let me continue to enjoy my vacation. Bye-bye, my people.